This is Canvas Course 101. I'm going to go through just the basics of how to set up a Canvas course. And then we're going to get into a little, sometimes it's a discussion, sometimes it's just me talking people through how you can use Canvas course in synchronous and asynchronous interactions. You kind of use the course and Zoom, or the course and office hours, or just using a course in general. So I am Scott Killow, the Regional Science Administrator, and I am located at Capital Region ESD 113, which is in Tumwater, Washington. So first off, if you're wondering how to get Canvas yourself, I included in the slideshow, I found a real quick how-to video in YouTube, just kind of showing you how to set up an account. Also, you could follow it up by going to the Canvas site itself and using that link to set up your own free account. For me, my agency already had a Canvas account, so I just simply went through my tech person, which happens to be Andrew Hickman. Your school district, your agency, they may already have a Canvas account set up, so I would probably start with them, and if there isn't, then you can go in and set up your own for free. Okay, so now if I'm going to go into Canvas, I need to stop share and go back into my presentation. And now I want to share my Chrome and a dashboard. Okay, so now these are all my Canvas courses that I've created over the past year and a half. And if we're getting started, to actually start a course, this is my dashboard, and on my dashboard I will see start a new course. Click on that. Course name, you can make up any name. You'll notice a few names already pop up. I'll just call this Future Focus. I'll go with that for now. The content license, I typically just leave as private. You can change it at a later date. So create course. All right, now I have all these different menu items. I have other menu items on the right, some on the left. I'm going to scroll down to settings. And I'm going to choose an image. On my dashboard, you may have noticed each little tile had its own little image. That's what this is referring to. You can do this also at a later time. So I already have some in here. Let's see, just going to scroll through what are saved in my computer. I don't want desktop, I want downloads instead. I don't want a QR code. Skimming my list. There, I'll go with my climb time. It's kind of my go-to for most of my courses nowadays. So it loads the image. There's the name of my course. I can give it a course code. More often than not, if I'm talking to a teacher and they're using this for their individual classes or individual content areas, the course code could be period 1 or biology or history. I'm just going to call this practice. Okay. As I scroll down, you'll notice that I could do a start and end date. That is when this course will open and when this course will close. I'm just going to leave it as is for now and not bother it because I'm going to be coming back to it later. One thing I need to do, which is a key feature, and I cannot stress this enough with Canvas, you always either have to update something or save something. It is not like Google where it automatically does that for you every 5 to 10 seconds. So you have to do that yourself. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my modules. All right, now it's just blank, so I'm going to add. You'll notice I'm looking down. I'm looking at my notes, just so you know. I'm going to add modules. So first module is, and as soon as I start typing, it's going to probably recognize something I've done in the past, which is a welcome and overview. And I just say add module. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and add a few more. And again, as I start to type, it will start to recognize previous modules I've used. So there's week 1. I'll add another one. Let's say week 2. And add a 4th. And that was my reflecting one. So there it is, reflecting on the course. Okay. You'll notice in the PowerPoint presentation, I have welcome and overview and reflecting on the course highlighted in green. Those are conventions I use for every single course. So every single course you see made by me will have a welcome and overview. And that is where I literally kind of give an overview of the course. I'll give a timetable so that people have an understanding of how long the course is going to take. I may have some due dates in there, so it's right there up front, highlighted for them. And I may also have logos to which agencies this is attributed to, or it may be grant funded, so I'll have a grant statement in there. And then the last one I always have is my last module, reflecting on the course. This is where I gather data. So I'll have some questions about how did the course go, what were the challenges, what went well. And I use that for when I make the next iteration of the course, when I want to improve it. But I also use those statements for when I'm wrapping up my grant report. I'll pull out some of those statements for that report. Okay, so now let's see here. I'm going to go ahead, because I know this is coming up, I'm going to add a lesson. So I click on the plus in the module bar, and I have choices of kinds of ways in which a lesson can be presented. I tend to stick with simply page, which just provides information, or discussion, which provides information but also has a reply box, a box in which my participants can submit a reply. So for first, I'm just going to go with page. Create a new page, and this will be the welcome. So I'll just add that item, and there it appears as a lesson. I'll go ahead and include one more lesson. It's still going to be a page. I'm going to create the page, and this one is, it's not content, it is, no, I'm trying to remember here. Contact, that's it, contact and technical assistance. That's what I was going with. Add that item. Okay, and then let's just say, for instance, I already know mentally as I'm setting up for this, I have 2 lessons that I want in week 1. So I'll click on that. Both of these are discussions because I do want my participants to reply. So right now I'm just going to say that this is lesson 1, just kind of keeping it generic. And then I have a second lesson in week 1. So again, it is a discussion because I want my participants to make a reply, and it's going to be lesson 2. Just keeping it generic for now. I can change it later. Okay, so I have kind of just the basic skeleton now set up of my course. Now I want to start gathering some of the content that I'm going to put into this course. And in order to show you this real quick, I'm going to stop share of this, go back to the presentation, because I need to show a different tab, which I already have set up in a Word document from Google. So I'm using this as my course. It's kind of my script. I've already set up my lessons, the language I want to go with. You notice things are highlighted in green. Again, those are conventions that I use for every single course. So I'm going to place this information in that welcome lesson. I always have a welcome statement. I always have goals and outcomes, some time frame, and I try to be really honest with my participants on how long I think it's going to take them to do the entire lesson. So each of these would be an individual lesson, or it could be a module, but it's just to let them know. My content technical, I always have this just so people know who to contact or who to contact if it's a content question or a technical question. Here is my lesson 1, already set up and ready to go. Just as a mental note, you'll notice I don't already have hyperlinks or uploads in my lesson. I have to do that in Canvas. I can't do it now and just simply copy paste. And here's my second lesson. Okay, so all that is going to be done, those 2 lessons will be done in the week 1. All right, so first, I'm just going to grab this. I don't need the word body. Copy that. Okay, so now everything else you'll hear me saying it, you're not going to see it. I'm just copying, pasting, and then putting it into Canvas. I need to stop share. Go back to hop in, and I need to go back to the Canvas view. Okay, so on that welcome, I'm going to click on welcome itself. I have to edit. I now get a text box, much like kind of a Word box, and has some Word-esque type icons up here. Click inside the box and paste. And then there's that information from my Google Doc. Now again, since I'm not working in Google right now, I am in Canvas, it is not going to automatically save. I have to scroll down and hit save. And this is a page view. Again, page views just simply display information. When I get to a discussion, you'll kind of see why I'm stressing that. Okay, so now you're going to hear me say this, but you're not going to be able to see it. I'm going to jump back. I hope this works. And I'm going to grab lesson 1. And now if I go, there it is. I see my little icon. Okay, I'm going to go back to modules. Okay, I've done the welcome. I still haven't done content and technical assistance yet, but I'm skipping that for now. I want to do lesson 1. I've already grabbed what I want. And you'll notice something different. That is a reply bar down here. So that's another indicator to me that this is a discussion. So I go to edit, click inside the little content box here, and I do my right click and paste. Okay. Now again, this was a convention I always use. This language right here for my participants. They know there's a discussion prompt. Here's where I need to go. Here are the questions I need to answer. I go outside the box, hit save. Now, when I was showing you a page, it was just strictly information. Now that this is a discussion, I have the information as well as the reply box. So if I was a participant, I would click inside the reply box, and now I can type my response and then post. So that is a good way to get your participants who are actually in the course itself to either post their response, so you know they're actually going through the work and are being accountable for the work. I've also used it as a way of having participants have a communication with each other. So they post, and then there may be directions that after others have posted, respond to their post. So I get that conversation with them. All right, let's see here. I need to edit the name of this because the lesson 1 was just too vague. So I'm gonna go back to edit. The title is right there. And I'm just gonna call this STEM teaching tool. And look, it's already there. I just have to change the number. It was 15, not 12. And then again, I have to save. And now the title changes inside the lesson, but also look, when I go back out to module view, the title is changed as well. Okay, so now I'm going to show you another feature. I'm going to go back into the lesson. You'll notice these are not hyperlinked to anything. So I need to fix that. So go edit. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to upload the PDF. So I highlight the word, the letters, PDF. Go right to this little link, but it's not a hyperlink, so it's not that. It's not an image. It's going to be record, upload media. So I need to upload, because I want to upload the actual PDF. Now I've already stored the PDF on my computer. Okay, so it should be in my downloads. Not there. Okay, something is awry here. Why my downloads, because what I want is right there. I want that, but it's not allowing me to do it. So that's weird. I want it for my computer. I just did this a few moments ago, so I know it works. I try one more time. It's not on my desktop. There's those things there. It's in my downloads, but it's not letting me do it. Well, I might just have to talk you through it. I would, if this were working right now, I would click on the document I wanted, which was the STEM teaching tool. So it'd be in here, and I'd click on it. It would become highlighted. The little open button would say open. I'd click on open. I would go back to here, and then I would say submit. It's not letting me do that right now. All right, well, I'm gonna try something different. So I'm gonna go back out to modules. That was a little check the system was doing. It was wanting to know if I actually wanted to leave without saving. I didn't add anything. I'm gonna do lesson 2. So again, I'm gonna have to talk you through this. You're not gonna be able to see it. I'm gonna go back to my Google Doc, grab lesson 2, come back in to what you can see, click on lesson 2, hit edit, click inside the box, and paste. So again, I have a discussion prompt here, I have a question, I have a video. So let's see if this works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save this real quick, because I really don't like losing things. This is going to be a YouTube video. And one other thing I want to change is the title of the lesson. So I'm going to grab that real quick from my script and edit. So I don't want it to simply say lesson 2. I want it to say cultivating equity in the classroom. So again, I'm going to save just to be on the safe side. Okay, so now I have a YouTube video. I'm going to grab that link real quick. You cannot see this. I'm doing it on a separate tab. Come back into Canvas, click Edit, click on the word link. Now this is going to be a hyperlink, so it's this symbol here. So on the word link, I'm going to attach the following address from YouTube. Click Done. It starts to glow yellow. Now it's red. I know it's hyperlinked, but I still have to, as always, click Save. Now it's ready to go. So now when I click on this, it will take me to that YouTube video. Okay, so moving along, I did my copy paste, got my hyperlinks, did my upload, I edited lessons. Okay. So now I am, as we kind of fast forward, I'm on slide 6 of the slideshow I shared with you folks. And it's the synchronous and asynchronous. I'm just going to talk about here real quickly ways in which I use Canvas. So I'm going to go back out to my overall dashboard that has all my courses. So one thing just to keep as a mental note about Canvas, published courses, these are all active and can be opened by participants. These down here are unpublished. You notice down here in unpublished is still future focused. I have not published it yet. I have not activated yet for participants. Okay, so I'm going to open up this Climate Science 2.0. I've now iterated this course, I think for the third time this year. So this is a completely finished, published course. I can now share this with teachers and they could go through this course. So as it stands right now, you notice I have my getting started. So in the other ones I was calling it welcome and overview. So I kind of switched that up a little bit. I have getting started and my welcome and overview is now a lesson. I have the body. So these are all the units. They're called modules in Canvas. My former teacher of mine calls them units. And inside the unit are the lessons. Some more units. And then very end, wrapping up the course. That for me, that's in here. That's a recent switch I've done. I used to call this module reflecting on the course, but I had several questions. I've now put all those questions in the reflecting on the course in a Google form. So I just called it wrapping up the course. So I've kind of changed some things as I've kind of matured in my use of Canvas. So this course is asynchronous. This course is completely self-paced. This course is completely independent. It's open for an entire school year. Teachers can jump in whenever they want, go as fast as they want. They then indicate to me and my admin assistant when they are done. We then go in and do a spot check of key areas. One key area for this Canvas course is that teachers have to engage students in actual climate science work. So that is a crucial piece that I have to go in and check. Did they engage students? Did they upload student work? And the way in which I know they've uploaded student work is I built that into their lessons. They have to present your student data. They have to reflect on the outcome, and then reflecting on the course. There's also a piece there where they're going to upload student work. So I quickly know, yes, they've done all that. I have to do that because that's one of my action items for my grant. Okay, another way I could use a course like this. Every single module is open. That's what all these little green checks mean. The module is visible and accessible to the participants. But instead of being strictly independent, self-paced, no assistance whatsoever, I will have what I call moderators. So one of my courses, I've had 4 moderators, and each moderator is responsible for a grade band. So K3 or K2, 3, 5, middle school and high school. And teachers are in a cohort, and there's a specific start date, let's say August 1st, and there's a specific end date, August 30th. And they have that 1 month in order to go through these lessons. And while they are going through, there is this person, this moderator, who is assigned to their grade band to go in and check responses in real time. So each night they go in for about an hour, they check their cohort responses, and they add assistance, guidance, further support. Sorry for the helicopter that's flying over. It happens in this world nowadays. And any other resources, or if they're getting stuck on something, they can kind of help work them through it. So it's a much more assisted, guided course. Okay, so that's a second way you can use Canvas, with actual paid moderators to moderate the course while they go through. Another way is, I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to hit this box. It says unpublished. I'm going to click on that one. It's unpublished, unpublish, unpublished. Here we go. There we go. So what I am doing is I am basically making these units invisible to any and all participants. The only unit they can see is this one. So I am facilitating this course. Let's say it's a 6-week course. And I have done my first meeting with my group of teachers. That could have been a face-to-face situation. And then I can let them know, hey, there's a Canvas course, as it's not to supplant the overall course, it is in support of. So what I need you to do in the next week is go through and do the Getting Started unit. So teachers now know they have an assignment for the next week. They're going to go in and do the Getting Started assignment. And then go through these lessons. After that week, we'll have a meeting, a check-in on Zoom. And so we kind of go in and we'll have maybe some discussion, some check-ins, some responses, maybe some breakout rooms where they need to analyze some data, go through an article, that sort of thing. At the conclusion of that check-in, I will then let them know, okay, tonight I'm going to open the next unit. That second unit is now visible to them, and I will say to them, okay, again, same routine. You have another week to finish the next unit. It is now open. And at the conclusion of that week, we get back together for a Zoom check-in where we go through these discussion points. We may have small group discussion, large group discussion. We may talk about how it could be applied to their classroom, some different strategies. And then at the conclusion of that Zoom check-in, I'll say, okay, now the next unit is going to be open, and I'll click publish, and it will then publish that third unit, which again means they have access to it. They only have access to what I want them to access. Everything else is hidden from them. Okay? All right. Another way I've seen it's a slight twist to what I was just sharing. You only open certain units on certain dates and let your participants know that it is then opened. But instead of doing very designated, very moderated Zoom check-ins, where it's mandatory for the teachers to check in, I've seen it done through just informal office hours. So you send in an email letting your teachers know that the next unit is open. They have this amount of time to access those lessons and get them done. I will be available for office hours. They just simply know if they need help, they can pop in. But if they don't need help, they can just keep chugging along, because at the conclusion of the office hour, they know the facilitator is going to open up the next unit, and then they can access that and plug their way through it. All right, I am going to answer questions, but I can't see them right now. But I'm trying to get through this so I have time to look and see if there's any questions at the end. I only have a few more things to show you. I'm going to go back to our course, our little practice course that we created. Open it up. Okay, so one thing I like to do is I like to have my participants work sequentially. So they have to go through the modules one by one, and they have to go through the lessons one by one. It's not just kind of like choose your own adventure and do whatever you want. So I'm going to go and click on these 3 ellipses because I want to edit the module. Add a requirement is how I can now control that they have to do the lessons within that module in sequential order. So the welcome was simply a page. They just need to view it. The next was the content technical assistance. They simply need to view it. And it has this little view down below the lesson. Okay, so here's another, I'm going to kind of go through the same things, but I'm going to add another little twist. Again, I want to edit the module. I click on the 3 ellipses in the module bar. Edit. I want to add a prereq. So before week 1, I want to make it so they have to do welcome and overview first. So add a prereq, welcome and overview. Okay, so it's now added. I also want to make sure that they go through the lessons in sequential order. Students must move through requirements in sequential order. The first lesson was STEM teaching tool. Now this one was a discussion page. So this one they need to contribute. I need to add that second lesson, which is called Cultivating Equity. It was also a discussion page. I need to add the word contribute, update module. Notice contribute now appears under the lesson. So another nice visual indicator to my participants. You need to go to this lesson and contribute. You notice here it says also complete all items. They cannot move on until they complete all items. They cannot access week 1 until they have finished welcome and overview. So it takes them through those units and those lessons in a sequential order. Now, to be honest, I started doing that after about 3 months of doing Canvas because I didn't even know it existed. It was just before the entire thing was open and you could go anywhere and everywhere you wanted, which made a kind of a big headache for me trying to kind of guide folks because they'd be all over the place and have missed previous lessons that they needed to do. So it was a learning curve for me. All right, now, last thing, and then I'll pop back out. So I'm gonna go back to settings. Let's say time has passed. I've populated all the units, all the lessons. It's ready to go. I want this to start the first day of school, if it's for teachers. And so I'm gonna make the start date. Come on. Yes, that's what I want. Why? Okay, this, I'm not sure why this is happening. It's not course. But now will it? There we go. Okay, so I want them to access this the first day of September. And it's going to be open all school year. So they can go in whenever they want. So now I just have to move to June. And I don't exactly know when school ends, but if it referred to my grant, it would have to end by the last day of June. So I'll choose June 30. Okay. Just a little side thing here. I like to restrict. They can only look at this. So they'll restrict students from viewing course before course starts and restrict students from viewing course after course end. So really what it's saying is they can only see it when it's open. Okay, and then last item, I need to update the course so it saves those changes. I just have one more thing I want to show you, and then I am done. Way down at the bottom of settings, I like to go to more options. I'm not entirely sure why it does not show this ahead of time. And I want to let students self-enroll by sharing with them a secret URL code. But before it will show anyone the secret code, I have to update the course. It scrolls back to the top, which means I then have to scroll back down to the bottom to see that secret code, and it is right there. So what I can do now with this address is I can share that with teachers in PD Enroller. I can share that with them on their flyers. I can share that with them in individual emails, and they click on it and it will take them to an accept page on Canvas. They simply accept and they're now enrolled in the course. So that's one way of doing that. I have learned my lesson though, that they only use that link once and only once. After that, they will simply use this as I'm highlighting the HTTPS ESD1, well, for me, it's the ESD113.instructor.com. Ends right there at the .com. That's their way of accessing their dashboard. You remember seeing my dashboard with all the different tiles of courses I've had? Their course will show up on their dashboard. Okay, nothing was changed. I just showed you that. So I've got that. The very last thing I need to do, because this course is still kind of hidden, it's not activated, I'm going to go to my home page and I'm going to click publish. Okay, now this is kind of a weird twist with Canvas. I published it, which means the site is active, but notice none of these modules or lessons are green. Just kind of a weird feature with Canvas. I still have to literally click them to make them visible and active. So let's just say, for instance, this is one of those courses where I want them to only access Unit 1 and not be able to access Week 1 or Week 2 or the reflecting yet. So I'll just leave those unclicked. Okay. All right. Well, that is Canvas in a nutshell.